An undrafted rookie steals a Super Bowl from the 1-yard line because Seattle forgot they had a beast in the backfield. Iron Mike Tyson decides the best way to win a world title is to literally eat his opponent's ear, and a team with 5,000 to 1 odds of winning anything just won the most competitive league on the planet. Sports have given us moments so insane that no scriptwriter could ever make them up, and I'm counting down the 25 most shocking ones that left fans completely speechless. Let's go. 25. All right, we're starting with the Malice at the Palace in 2004. Ron Artest fouls Ben Wallace, Wallace shoves Artest, and then some genius in the crowd throws a beer at Artest. And this man charged into the stands. A professional athlete literally ran into the crowd and started swinging on fans. Steven Jackson followed him in. 9 players got suspended for a combined 146 games. But even that brawl isn't as crazy as the man who bit a literal chunk out of his opponent. 24. Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear off during a heavyweight championship fight in 1997. Round 3, they get into a clinch and Iron Mike just chomps down and rips a piece off. The ref stopped the fight, gave him a warning, and then Tyson did it again to the other ear. Got disqualified and fined $3 million. You can't fine someone enough for eating another human being on live television. 23. But you think a bite is wild? Try an entire team winning a title at 5,000 to 1 odds. Leicester City in 2016 nearly got relegated the year before and then won the Premier League with only 3 losses all season. Bookmakers said finding Elvis alive was more likely. That's not a sports story. That's a fairy tale that actually happened. 22. Now a season-long miracle is great, but Tracy McGrady did the impossible in 33 seconds. December 2004. Rockets down 8 with under 40 seconds left. Arena emptying out, and TMac hit 4 straight threes, including a 4-point play, and won the game. 13 points in 33 seconds. Win probability was basically 0. 21. TMac stole that win, but Malcolm Butler stole an entire Super Bowl. Super Bowl 49. Seahawks on the 1-yard line. Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. All Seattle has to do is hand him the ball. Instead, Russell Wilson throws a pass and an undrafted rookie picks it off. Chris Collinsworth said, "I'm seeing it, but I don't believe it." That play haunts Seattle fans to this day. 20. That pick was a heartbreaker, but it doesn't compare to the kick 6. 2013 Iron Bowl. Alabama lines up for a 57-yard field goal to win. The kick comes up short. Auburn's Chris Davis catches it in the end zone and takes it 109 yards for a touchdown. The crowd went so crazy it registered on a seismograph. 19. But even that isn't as shocking as Deshaun Jackson's walk-off punt return in 2010. Giants up by 4, barely any time left, and Matt Dodge punts directly to Jackson. He dodged 5 tacklers, ran sideways backwards, and took it 65 yards to the house. Game over in 7 seconds. 18. Usain Bolt at the 2008 Olympics didn't just win the 100 meters. He shattered the world record at 9.69 seconds while slowing down to celebrate at the finish line. Scientists estimated he could have run 9.55 if he'd actually tried. That's not an athlete. That's a cheat code God forgot to patch. 17. But even Bolt doesn't match the shock of Buster Douglas knocking out Tyson in 1990. Tyson was 37-0. Odds were 42 to 1 against Douglas, and nobody even prepared a post-fight interview for Douglas. Then, he knocked Tyson out in the 10th round. The most feared man in combat sports was on the canvas, fumbling for his mouthpiece. 16. Michael Phelps won his 7th gold medal at the 2008 Olympics by 1/100th of a second. Serbia's Milorad Kavic touched the wall and thought he won. His team was celebrating, but the timing system showed Phelps got there 0.01 seconds faster. That's the width of a fingernail. 15. But that photo finish doesn't match Super Bowl 51. Patriots down 28-3 against the Falcons. Biggest deficit in Super Bowl history. Fans leaving. Social media already congratulating Atlanta. Tom Brady led a 31-point comeback, forced overtime, and won 34-28. Nobody has ever come back from 25 down in a Super Bowl before or since. 14. Carrie Strug at the 1996 Olympics landed a vault on a broken ankle to win gymnastics gold. She tore 2 ligaments on her first attempt and could barely stand. Her coach said they needed 1 more score, so she sprinted down the runway on a shattered ankle, nailed the landing, scored a 9.712, and collapsed. Her coach carried her to the podium. 13. Derek Redmond's hamstring snapped in the 400 meters at the 1992 Olympics. He fell to the track sobbing. And then his father ran out of the stands past security, put his arm around his son, and helped him finish the race. Every person in that stadium was on their feet crying. He never won a medal. He won something bigger. 12. The Immaculate Reception in 1972. Steelers versus Raiders. Pittsburgh down by 1 with 22 seconds left. Bradshaw's desperation pass hits Jack Tatum, deflects backwards, and Franco Harris scoops it off his shoe tops and runs it in. 50 years later, people still argue whether it hit the ground. 11. The Red Sox in 2004 were down 3-0 against the Yankees. No team in baseball history had ever come back from that. They won 4 straight and then won the World Series for the first time in 86 years. An entire city cursed since 1918 was finally free. 10. Alright, let's take things to a whole new level because these top 10 moments didn't just shock people, they changed the entire landscape of sports forever. And number 10 is the helmet catch from Super Bowl 42. The Patriots were 18-0. Perfect season, greatest team ever assembled. And on 3rd and 5 with under 2 minutes left, David Tyree pinned the ball against his helmet while Rodney Harrison was dragging him to the ground. Eli Manning had already escaped about 4 sacks on that same play. The Giants won 17-14 and the perfect season was gone. 9. Nadia Comaneci at the 1976 Olympics scored a perfect 10 on the uneven bars. Nobody had ever done that in Olympic history. The scoreboard literally couldn't display it because it wasn't programmed for a perfect score, so it showed 1.00 instead of 10.00. She was 14 years old. 8. The Minneapolis Miracle in the 2018 NFC Divisional Round. Vikings down by 1, 10 seconds left. Case Keenum throws to Stephon Diggs on a sideline route. Marcus Williams completely whiffs the tackle, and Diggs walks into the end zone for a 61-yard walk-off touchdown. First walk-off touchdown in NFL playoff history. 7. Tiger Woods at the 2019 Masters. No major wins in 11 years. Multiple back surgeries. Personal life destroyed publicly. Everyone in golf wrote him off. He won the Masters at 43. When he hugged his kids on the 18th green, it was the most emotional moment in golf history. 6. The 2005 Champions League Final. AC Milan was up 3-0 against Liverpool at halftime. Liverpool fans were crying in the stands. Then Liverpool scored 3 goals in 6 minutes and 1 on penalty kicks. 6 minutes. From total defeat to total resurrection. They call it the Miracle of Istanbul. 5. Michael Jordan's flu game in the 1998 Finals. Game 5 against the Jazz. Food poisoning so bad he could barely stand during warm-ups. Gray, sweating through his jersey before tip-off, scored 38 points, hit the game-winning 3 and collapsed into Scottie Pippen's arms. He was literally dying and still dominated. 4. The Hand of God. 1986, World Cup, Argentina versus England. Diego Maradona punched the ball into the net with his fist, and the refs counted it. Then, 4 minutes later, he scored the greatest goal in soccer history, dribbling past 6 English players from the halfway line. One play was the biggest cheat in sports. The next was the most beautiful thing anyone had ever seen. Same guy, same game. 3. The shot heard round the world, 1951. Bobby Thompson hit a walk-off home run against the Brooklyn Dodgers to win the pennant for the New York Giants. The radio announcer, Russ Hodges, literally screamed, "The Giants win the pennant," over and over and over until his voice cracked. It was the first truly viral sports moment before television even existed. An entire city lost its mind over one swing of the bat. 2. At number 2 is the 1972 Olympic basketball final, where the Soviets beat the Americans after the refs put 3 seconds back on the clock. Twice. The USA had already celebrated their win. Players were hugging each other, and then the officials reset the clock and gave the Soviets a 3rd chance at an inbounds play. They scored. The American team refused to accept their silver medals, and they're still sitting in a vault in Switzerland to this day. 1. And the number 1 most shocking sports moment that left fans absolutely speechless is the 1980 Miracle on Ice. A bunch of American college kids playing against the most dominant hockey team ever assembled. The Soviet Union had won 4 consecutive Olympic golds. They outscored opponents 51-11 in the tournament. They had beaten an NHL All-Star team months before. The average age of the USA team was 21. With 10 minutes left, the Soviets were up 3-2. Mike Eruzione scored the go-ahead goal, and then the Americans held on for the most excruciating defensive stand in sports history. Al Michaels screamed, "Do you believe in miracles?" and the entire country lost its mind. Fans in the arena were weeping. This wasn't just a hockey game. This was a country proving that anything was possible when everyone said it wasn't. The Cold War was raging. The Soviets were supposed to be unbeatable, and a bunch of college kids said no. Not tonight. That's why it's the greatest upset in the history of global sport. And that's why it's the most shocking moment that will ever leave fans speechless. If this video gave you chills even once, you already know what to do. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you want more moments that broke the entire sports world, hit play on the next one right now.